morning everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess to do your What's Cracking reading. It's Tuesday today. Wow, I've lost a little bit of track of the time. First off, I want to say thank you for subscribing to the channel. I really do enjoy reading all your beautiful comments and all of your input, so thank you so much for taking the time out to write to me. If you're interested in a personal reading, gifting or donating to the channel, or life coaching, which I'm currently offering a 6-week program at reduced prices, which is just a kickstart program to get people going. I have been posting some testimonials from people, so everybody seems to have done something good with that 6 week, which is awesome. I now go live on YouTube on Wednesdays, Instagram on Fridays, and Facebook for mini card reads once a month. If you want any of that information, you can join my page at the Aussie Goddess on Facebook, and pinned to the top of the page is where I'll be. It looks really dark in here today. Where I'll be for the next month. Okay, I do intend getting some more posts up on my life coaching channel. Sorry, it just doesn't seem quite right today. I think I've got more ceiling than I normally have, and it's really dark. And I think that's it anyway. I'm going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot for your reading this morning. And we'll see how we go. It's funny, isn't it? Every time I come on, I think I do this big blurb at the beginning, and I'm never really sure whether I've missed anything or not. I guess if you're unsure, you can always email me. You can always flick me an email and ask questions. I'm more than happy to answer those. All right, let's get going. Oh, that's a nice way to start the day. We have the Strength card coming through. So the Strength card is a card that talks about finding your inner strength, finding the person you were meant to be. I love the representation in this card of the lion with the rose in its mouth. It's like, you know, be your bravest side, but still have that soft sort of side to you. It is about integrating the shadow side with the lighter side of yourself. This is like the energy of being able to accept those parts about yourself that perhaps other people sort of pull apart, or that you've had pulled apart over the years, and you've may have grown accustomed to, you know, looking at yourself in a very different way. So there's sort of this feeling here with the Strength card that you're being asked to embrace your feminine side, being asked to embrace your shadow side, but in being asked to embrace those parts of you that you keep hidden away from the world. All right, so we have the Eight of Wands after that. So there's a change coming in here. Now, the Eight of Wands talks about messages coming through. This is fast movement. It implies fast movement, although fast movement in spiritual terms is not always fast movement in human terms. So, you know, there's this a feeling that something's happening very quickly. I'm very drawn to sort of the lightning bolt coming into the Eight Wands here. So maybe something has awoken here. Perhaps somebody has awoken some part of them that they have kept hidden from the world. Maybe there's some sort of epiphany, like a bolt of lightning coming out of the blue to maybe awaken you, or just to remind you, is what Spirit's saying, to remind you of who you are. Okay. All right, so we have here the Ten of Pentacles. The Ten of Pentacles is a card that talks of abundance. And abundance can mean many things for many different people. So abundance can be finances, it can be that you've got plenty of money, but it can also talk about abundance in terms of happiness, joy, love, whatever it is for you. But there's some sort of abundance coming to you. And I feel like it's here because you've unlocked some part of yourself that's been hidden away here, perhaps been hidden away for a long time. I've had this feeling with a few readings just lately around people being sort of woken up to karmic patterns or ancestral patterns but being able to understand how to work with them. So maybe that's what's happening for you here. Oh, let's see. When I see the Eight of Swords in this particular card, it's very, very different to the traditional tarot. It always reminds me of something coming forth, something springing forth from the chrysalis. So it's like you're opening up to something here. But the Eight Swords remind me that there are things about ourselves that we don't allow the universe to see, or our friends to see, family to see, because somehow or another we feel very limited with this Eight of Swords energy. It's this energy of being trapped in ourselves and unable to accept these part of ourselves that probably would unearth deeper things about ourselves, but we keep them hidden. I think, you know, it's sort of that energy of having a mask, showing yourself to the world with a mask on, never really letting people see who you are at a deeper level, never letting people really see into your soul, because there's some sort of fear here with the Eight of Swords. It's like you're not really wanting people to see who you really are. Now, I know I've worked with some people who've said, but I don't know what that is. And because sometimes these things about us are so hidden, so if they happened to you when you were very young, or you were told something when you were very young, you may not even be fully aware of what's going on. And the greatest way to reach inside your soul is through meditation, but it's also through quiet time. So if you can't meditate, I have a pimple right in the end of my nose. If you can't meditate, then often it's just having quiet time. And some people are so fearful of being by themselves. They don't want to be alone. They don't like, you know, being sort of open to their feelings. And yet that is the best time to bring things to the surface. All right, we do have some sort of love being offered here. I actually think this is, wow, look at this. All right, so what I want to say to you is maybe for some of you, there's something locked inside of you that's maybe not stopping you from having love, but maybe sort of hindering your progress on the love journey. You know, I was talking about some of those ancestral patterns. You know, if you've been a person who's constantly got into relationships with people who are cold, not giving, narcissistic sort of personality, and you may have been repeating those patterns. And for many of you here, this is a shifting of that energy through understanding what is happening here. How does this happen? I get a lot of people who work with me or write to me who say to me that they've done this many, many times, where they've attracted very similar people. And sometimes it's about understanding why that is happening, understanding sort of these patterns, so that you can embrace those parts of you you've kept hidden away. Things like, you know, if you're not used to setting boundaries, for example, maybe you were told as a child it was wrong to say no to people. So then as an adult, when you're not saying no, people take advantage of that, knowing that you're not going to push them away. So maybe it's something like that, but something here is hindering you in the love department, in the love department. Oh dear. All right, let's get into it. All right, so we have the Ace of Wands here. So already I'm feeling like you've got somebody around you who is feeling very passionate, very physically driven towards you. The Ace of Wands talks of passion. It talks of heat, physical sort of movement. It could be the new start of something. It can be a relationship, but it's sort of more, not so much the love side of the relationship, but the physical attraction to someone. All right, let's talk about this card. There is always a fear when you've had your heart broken, that you're going to get hurt again. And let's face it, you know, getting your heart broken is not the nicest thing, and it can last such a long time, especially when you're a very deep love person. There is a really sad feeling when this card comes up, because I can never see like the good side of this. The only card in the deck where I can't find anything that I feel good about, other than sometimes this card can mean past hurts that are going past, previous hurts that are moving past you. And sometimes this can mean that these hurts are being put in the past by new love. So I feel like it's possible here that you might be meeting someone who finally gives you the love that you deserve, because you're no longer harboring this past energy from having your heart broken. That's nice. All right. Oh, throwing the cards around. All right, so we have here the Six of Wands. And again, I just saw the chrysalis and now I see the butterfly. So I think this is a beautiful little message coming through in the cards this morning, saying that you're rebirthing something new with that Strength card. You're sort of bringing back some part of you that you've kept hidden from the world. And I think here, it's a part of you that has probably limited you from having those beautiful, healthy relationships that you've wanted to have. You may have always sort of wondered why you were being held back, and now you're starting to do that deep introspection or that deep inner work. You might be being shown the patterns of the past. I sort of want to get into it deeper, but I won't. All right, so we have the Empress here. Okay, so this is what you're birthing here. Now, whether you're male or female, the Empress is the feminine aspect of yourself. And I know a lot of men working on their feminine aspect at the moment. It's the part of you that is loving, nurturing, kind, intuitive. It's all the softer aspects of the psyche. It also sort of reveals this idea around mother love and the mother patterns as well. So if you have deep-seated mother issues, this may be a time here that you need to start to address those. But a lot of you bringing forth your feminine side here. All right, let's keep going. We have the Star card. How very beautiful. So this is in line here. Everything is sitting in line with your destiny. So maybe those patterns were necessary for you to go through to have the love that you desire. Maybe you've been learning through, doing this work on yourself that actually, I understand now what I've been doing differently, that I could do in a different way. There is no bad, there is no blame, you've done nothing wrong. It's just you've adapted to a certain way of being without fully adapting your psychic self. So you've sort of exposed only parts of yourself to people. So there's something very destined about this time for you. All right, Four of Pentacles. Wow, there we go. So letting go of these. Look at these patterns within this. Letting go of something here. Allowing something to just go back out into the ether because it no longer serves you. So this may be, learning to say no. It may be setting boundaries. It may be just understanding that you deserve more than what you've been currently accepting. Maybe you've always made yourself small rather than made yourself big. Okay, so we have the Devil card. So for some of you, you have codependent patterns. Could be about your ego. We all have parts of our ego that serve us and parts that do not. Sometimes people talk about getting rid of the ego, and I think we can't get rid of the ego. It's what keeps us safe. So there are parts of the ego that are healthy, absolutely. But there are parts of your ego that you have learned from other people and carried as a badge, as your own, and they're not yours to own. So it's very much about allowing them to go. Some of you may have formed really unhealthy patterns in regard to drugs and alcohol because they are part of how you heal, how you hide away the person that you really are. Okay, so we have the Lovers card coming through. So it's almost like this energy is telling us if we shift it, we're going to have a much better opportunity or a much better choice in partners or choice in love. But we have to learn how to bring those parts into ourselves. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles. So this says to me, the universe is saying you have to be self-sufficient. You have to be independent. You have to know yourself through and through before you crave someone else. Because you cannot have an ideal partner if you yourself are not complete. But so many of us are taught about getting married early, about being in relationships, about having children, especially women. And it's not all there is. So this is about building your own independence, building yourself up. So you're taught to the point where you're vibrating at a level you need to be to bring in the person that's right for you, who's vibrating where you are. I'm really drawn to the feathers in this card this morning. The feathers are beautiful, so they may mean something to somebody out there. All right, and then we have the Mother of Wands coming through. So the Queen of Wands is a card that talks about someone who is really in their power. They're attractive, they're beautiful, everybody notices their beauty. Everybody sees their beauty because it comes from the inside out. And this is what you're birthing here. So when you're whole and complete and you accept those parts of yourself that you keep hidden from the world, then you are going to be the Queen of Wands. You're going to be all sexy, all attractive, all powerful, and a leader. Very nice reading. All right, let's have a quick squiz over it. All right, so we have you working on, some of you working on your shadow side, maybe working on ancestral patterns. I believe here you're going to get some sort of epiphany or some sort of bolt of lightning that's going to sort of move you forward very quickly on your path. Because the Ten of Pentacles comes in here, which means that there's some sort of abundance sort of waiting for you at the end of this rainbow. Some of you are coming out of this sort of cocoon here. And it's because you're sort of not worried anymore about this energy of being trapped by who you're meant to be. So you're letting go of this energy and birthing yourself into the beautiful butterfly which comes through here. And there's love here. I can go one further. Look, opening your third eye chakra here too. This is meditation, healing. But look at you becoming the swan. Oh, that's really beautiful. I didn't hit that one before. Okay, the ugly duckling that becomes the swan. You didn't know what you were really capable of. That's really interesting. What a beautiful reading. All right, let's pull a card. Let's go Starseed Oracle. Oh, well, let's not take the half the deck, but I will take that one there because it did fall right in front of me, and I think there was a reason for that. The Cosmic Heart. So yeah, no coincidences, remember? This is devotion, potency, making your life a moving prayer. When you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You are being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing this in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at the center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what is it that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everybody else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. Oh, you know why it jumped out the deck now. Have a wonderful day.